Here to respond, Senator Lindsey Graham, fresh off of a meeting with President Trump at the White House. Senator, good evening to you.
Good. That was clear as mud. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, what do you make of that? What's your reaction to that discussion with Senator Warner about where this whole thing's going?
I've seen no evidence of collusion. I'm on the Judiciary Committee. Burr says he hasn't seen any. We'll see. Mueller will give us a report, hopefully in my lifetime. But this idea of just destroying President Trump and his family is not going to play well with the American people. And when Mueller issues his report, I don't think he's going to find any collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. I can tell you this, President Trump has a hard time colluding with his own government, so I don't think he colluded with the Russians.
Last night I talked to Joe DeGeneva, the attorney, and he said that he thought all 81 people who received those subpoenas should all refuse to show up. What do you think about? He said, that would be the biggest, boldest statement they could make. What do you think about that?
I just think the House is off the rails, and they're going to spend all their time trying to tear Trump down instead of build up the country. And President Trump is going to challenge them to work with him on immigration reform, on infrastructure that would help the American people. And if they keep playing this game of trying to destroy him and his family and refusing to work with the president to try to improve the lives of American families, Trump's going to win going away in 2020.
You did an interview with the New York Times, and the Daily podcast, raised the question, what happened to Lindsey Graham? And when I listened to you talk about the president that way and, what you think he wants to accomplish, this is a long piece that drills down on the things that you said about the president in the past, kook, crazy, all of that. So, in a sentence or two, what did happen to Lindsey Graham? What changed your mind so dramatically about the president?
He beat me. He's president of the United States. I want him to be successful. I wanted Obama to be successful. I wanted Bush to be successful. The people in South Carolina want me to work with the president when it makes sense. I like what he's doing. He's rebuilding the military. He cut our taxes. He destroyed the caliphate. He got out of the Iran nuclear deal. He's got Rocket Man at the table. He's deregulating the country. He put Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the bench. From my point of view, he's exceeded every expectation I had. I unashamedly want him to be successful. When I disagree with him, I'll tell him so, but nothing's happened to me. The only time you can be seen as a good Republican by the liberal side of the equation is when you attack a Republican. I had my shot at President Trump. The American people chose him. I want him to be successful. I'm all in. To the extent that I can help this president, I will.
So, you do disagree on things from time to time.
Sure.
He came out with a statement basically saying 100% agree that we need to leave some forces in Syria.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that you were persuasive on that.
Well, I think he took sound military advice. He's right to want to reduce our commitment. He's right to have other people do more of the fighting and pay more of the bills. But by having a small footprint behind of Americans, we'll get more Europeans. ISIS won't come back. Turkey and the Kurds won't go to war with each other, and Iran and Russia won't benefit from a hasty withdrawal. I think this was a smart decision, and President Trump did something Obama would never do: listen to people and adjust his strategy. If Obama had listened to people in Iraq, there would be no ISIS.
You have a hearing.
I want to applaud the president.
All right. You have a hearing on the border coming up tomorrow on the Judiciary Committee. Thoughts on what you learned there? I
was blown away. So compared to last year, the number of families apprehended at the border has gone up 335%. The number of unaccompanied minors in our custody has gone up by 54%. The average cost of housing an unaccompanied minor for the American taxpayer is $375 a day. We're on track to spend $1.6 billion of housing unaccompanied minors in U.S. custody. If this is not a crisis, what the hell would be? We're being flooded. The numbers are just through the roof.
Well,
and
let me
our
ask
laws.
you this. There's some, just looking through Twitter just moments ago, there's some complaints about the fact that Senator McConnell took up a vote on this and allowed Republicans, which he knew were going to vote against the president on this. Do you disagree with taking that vote in the Senate when there have been so many times when there was never a vote taken in the Senate?
It's a privileged motion. I don't think he can stop it. But here's what the president and I talked about for an hour and a half today, that he's disappointed that he's not able to convince Republicans that this is an emergency. Again, I've been dealing with this issue for a decade. If families get to America, they're released within 20 days. If an unaccompanied minor makes it into our custody, only 2% are returned to the country where they came from. We're sending a signal to all over Central America. If you can make it to America, you're going to stay. We're being overwhelmed. We're on track to have 650,000 illegal immigrants apprehended in 2019. It is a crisis. The legal authority the president is using has been used 50 times. He has the statutory authority given to him by Congress to take money from the military construction budget and apply it to an emergency situation. He's on sound legal footing. I support what he's doing, and I hope the Republican Party will stand behind him.
All right. Senator Lindsey Graham, thank you, sir. Always good to see you.